Hello everyone and welcome back to the second session. I'm here with Svein from Bouvet. We're both from Bouvet actually.
Yeah.
And in the previous session we just started looking at EpiServer, and since then we've made small strides toward a more complete and powerful solution for what we need. First of all, we started with the first thing we did is we started by deploying. That's the first step for a successful agile project. Is that you start with deploying something that doesn't do anything. So we actually created a build file through a Final Builder. Final Builder is a program that visually manages your build, and it's very powerful because it contains a lot of built-in actions, and we're just using one of them, build the Visual Studio solution here. We called it CI because we're going to use it in a cruise control build. If we double click on this, we can see that we're building whatever is in the project directory on a simple Bouvet.EpiServer solution. So we created a very simple, clean website that doesn't actually do anything here, just to be able to compile it and run it, so that we can do the whole cycle of checking in source code and putting that source code in, for us it was Bitbucket. So we created a very simple Bitbucket solution. We put our clean site on Bitbucket, and then we created a build script that gets checked in to, oh, I don't want to buy that for now. A build script that checks, that compiles the source code, but is also a piece of the source code on its own. So the build script is part of source control, so it gets versioned per version of a product. So if you want to run a build of a product from 6 months ago, it's actually going to fit all the files that existed 6 months ago. And this build script has to be run somehow. And it's going to be run by TeamCity. TeamCity is something that is being used here quite a bit in Bouvet, and I'm very happy to hear that, because it's one of my favorite products for continuous integration. Yes, I actually think it's currently better than Jenkins, Travis CI, etc., because the usability factor is very high. And it's actually free for up to 25 people. Are we using the free version here, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So
Can have up to 10.
up to 10 projects for free.
Mm.
That's pretty amazing. And if you need up more than 10, you probably want to pay for it because it's a very, very powerful thing. One of the coolest thing I like about TeamCity is that it can create instances of agents in the cloud in Amazon EC2 and stuff. I don't know if they already support Azure. Maybe. In any case, we created, as part of this, automatically the first thing you do is deploy, is we created a continuous integration build that just runs the build script, that just compiles the project, that just doesn't do anything for now. And we actually have, after several builds, we actually have builds that don't contain tests, but actually run. So you can see we had various build. Can we see the history? I probably could see the history of all the builds here, but it doesn't matter to us right now. What else? What else? Okay, so currently, just to make sure, we haven't added a single file to the project, but we can actually run it and see that it runs continuous integration, and we haven't deployed yet. So our next thing before we actually start adding pieces of code with tests is to be able to deploy the project at least to a test server and later to an actual production or staging server. So our next step is to create a build script that deploys to our test server, and also create a deployment build type in TeamCity that will get triggered automatically after continuous integration. Okay? So Svein, I'm gonna give you the honors of using Final Builder. This is your first time using it, right? And we're gonna just do it together. Okay, I'm just going to coach you through it. So don't worry, if you have any questions, just feel free to ask. Okay, I've had extensive experience with Final Builder on many projects, and by the way, I'm not getting any cent for recommending these products. I just am a happy user. Okay, so let's create a new Final Builder project here. So file new. We don't want to use the existing one.
New project.
Yep.
So you want like one script for building and one script for deploying?
Well, one script from continuous integration, it might also run the test. It not necessarily just compiles. But the script for deployment, I think it should be separate, because then we can deploy after continuous integration, we can deploy after nightly builds, after whatever we want.
So you can reuse.
And we can reuse it, we can set it different parameters. So to deploy, what do we need? We already have a server called
epi build, like epi test.
epitest.dev.bouvet.no. Okay. So how do we have access to it through a drive?
We are in the same domain, so
then we can just copy.
Yep.
Yeah. So do you know how to deploy EpiServer projects? I have no idea. So you tell me, if it's just a simple copy, we can do it.
Do the build create like we're removing all the?
We can do whatever we want. You just tell me what we need to do.
Well, I only want to keep the DLLs and the ASPX and.
You want to keep them?
Yeah, and remove
the existing ones. When you say keep, it's in the folder on the test server.
Yeah.
So you want to copy only specific types of files?
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that. And overwrite all of them, or just the ones that changed?
We could keep only one that changed. Actually.
You tell me.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is, if you search here at the search for action and just write copy, you can see that underneath we have copy file, copy move file list, etc. We have robocopy. If we can install robocopy on the TeamCity server agent, and then we can run it. We can use xcopy. For now, we can just use copy files.
Yeah.
So now the source is everything under the root folder where the script is running. So you can say to use the variable for the root folder, you use %sign. Then you can see all the variables. We can also declare our own, but there are some built-in ones. So if we say FB for Final Builder, so you can see FB build type, the FB directory. We want the FB project directory, because this is where the actual script that we're executing right now is running from. And then we can say slash, and which files do you want? Everything? Because if it's everything, you just say star.star.
But
do you really want to deploy everything, or is there? No. What?
How do we when after you run the MS build?
Yeah.
You still have all the files that has been checked out from
source control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the question?
I don't want to copy the .cs file and.
Okay, so we can just say star.aspx.
Yeah, but do we need more than that?
What else do we need?
ACX, DLLs.
So we can have a copy action for each one of these file types.
Okay.
Or we can also create, maybe if it's a bit more complicated, we can create a copy or move file list. The source folder, and here we can create a file list. For example, everything.ascx in the source folder for FB project here.
Yeah.
Then we can add multiple types. Okay, so let's see if that works.
The good question is if you remember to
APSX.
What did I do wrong now?
You didn't say the source folder, and you didn't press add.
No, I clicked.
Yeah. What else do we need?
Well, we have the project here.
Yeah. Do we need to copy all the folders? We can just copy a specific folder.
Yeah, we need the controllers, model, and use.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very clean now.
Yeah, there's nothing there, but if we want to deploy it, we have to deploy it, right?
Yeah.
So let's add those folder names and see what happens.
We need the ASX file. The config should be different from the development to the production.
Perfect. Then we can send, before we copy, we can actually change the config file.
Yeah.
Via an XML change in file builder.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, let's copy whatever we need. So we can say ASAX.
Yeah. DLL.
You said that we need ASAX.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah. What about a config, right? I mean, anything.config.
Yeah, because we're gonna change them before we move it.
Yeah.
Mm.
And anything else? Do you want to copy DLLs?
Yeah, if you're removing the CS files.
Okay.
But how about style sheets,
Yeah.
JavaScript?
True. So if you were doing this manually, how would you deploy? You would just take the folder and copy it, and then delete the CS files?
Yeah, if you're really going old way back in the old days, you could like just.
So then we can actually copy everything and then go ahead to the folder and delete CS files.
Yeah.
What do you think? Is that better? Is that simpler?
In some of the previous projects on Team City here, we do the MS build and it copied to a special folder, like a Dropbox folder, and then we zip it together. But then it's finished copying the correct file.
But you copy the specific file types.
Yep.
You don't copy everything.
No.
Just like we're doing here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we can also copy and then zip it.
Yep.
We don't have to specifically just copy to a directory. We can do whatever we want. So, but let's first of all finish the file list. So JS, CSS, anything else?
Now it's a very clean solution. It's almost have nothing in it. So I think this will cover it right now.
Okay. Now the source folder is the actually where we are, right?
Yep. So that will be FB
project here. Yeah. You missed it?
There.
Perfect. And the destination folder?
Do we need something more behind here? No.
I don't think so.
Do we need that slash? Like this?
I don't think so.
No.
Destination folder?
Do we have something or do we need to create something?
This is the server you want to copy to.
Okay, so that's...
Or if you want to zip it, then we can send the zip, but we still have to unzip it later, right?
Yeah, but I was thinking, what if we want to create, or do you want to have several build scripts? So you have one for like just copying it, and then you have one for zipping it to be able to move it to a different server later on, which is outside our domain, like on the production server.
Okay. I guess we're thinking too far ahead. For now, let's do something incremental, and we can refactor.
Okay.
Yes, we could very easily zip it before, but so we can do a project dir /tmp, for example, and then we'll copy everything in tmp to a zip file.
Okay.
So if you want to do that, we can do it, or we can just right now copy all these things and then we can reuse this.
Yeah.
Actually. So what's the destination folder for us?
That will be something like is, I think. Epi test dev .nl.
Mm-hmm.
And then we probably need to. Do you want to copy it directly onto the test solution on that server, or do you want to copy it to a temps folder?
What is the simplest thing we can do? The simplest that will actually make the site work automatically if we didn't maybe just preset IIS if we needed to.
Yeah.
So we can copy it directly to a folder that we share that already contains what we need.
It's not running on that test server yet.
Okay, but so let's assume that we have a shared folder that we created.
Yeah.
And then we can deploy there. So what would be the good name for that folder?
I usually use like EpiServer because you have several solutions on that server.
EpiServer. EpiServer.
Server, right?
Yeah, slash.
And then we have the solution. No, the sites. Since there's several sites on that
Yeah.
server, and then we could have like bouvet.epi or bouvet.no.
Let's say bouvet.no because
Yeah.
that's what we're trying to build here.
Yeah. Like this.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Now override read file only files. Do we want to do that?
Yeah, we probably will.
Okay. So check it. Fail if a file already exists. No.
No.
Delete source files that we are copying. No.
No.
Fail if 0 file processed. Yes.
Yeah.
Clear attributes. That's like the read-only stuff. Force destination folder. If the folder doesn't exist, it will create it.
Yeah.
Preserve child directory structure. So it recursively copies. So I think it will. I think we should check that. And fail if any file or group of files is not found. Like if it doesn't find JS files, it fails. Well, we don't want it to do that for now.
No, it could still be okay on that.
Okay?
Yeah, okay.
I think so. So now, if we actually just run this, do we have permission from this machine to create folders remotely?
I assume so if I'm logged in.
Yeah, and you are logged in.
Yeah.
But now, there is no folder called EpiServer.
Yes, it is.
There is?
And sites, but not bouvet.no.
So maybe that will be created automatically for us.
Yeah.
The easiest thing to do is to just check. Okay, then check. Just press F5 or press play there. See what happens. Oh, we have to save it. So let's save it in our source folder.
On the root here?
Yeah.
Yep.
And we'll call it deploy. Perfect.
Usually use small or
Doesn't matter.
error.
Failed magically. Okay, let's go to the build log here and see copying files, blah 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 blah, file not found. He didn't find any ASCX.
Because you haven't made any.
Well, it shouldn't fail on that.
No.
Huh. Let's see. Let's see. We have that. We have that. I guess it should be recursive. Maybe we're using the wrong thing here. Well, we can have a file set. Copy and move. And do an X copy. Yep, that's what if we did a file set? We can actually create a file set, and we can copy all the files. A file set is something even more interesting because it's basically defining a variable that looks at a bunch of files. So file set define project files, web project or site files. The base directory is FB project dir. FB project directory. Default quoting, none, single, double. Guess we'll just use double. To copy stuff, default separator, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Include hidden in system directories in recursive searches, yes. Include date and size information, okay. And now we have the include patterns here. And now we can be recursive. So I guess here we would say everything.dll. Recursive. Add pattern. And here we would say.
Okay, so you add all the.
I guess everything that we did there.
Yeah.
ASPX. Is that what we have? Recursive. What else do we have?
ACX. I'm not sure if you need that in MVC. Do you?
I haven't worked with MVC before, so we'll find out.
Yeah.
I mean, I've looked at it, but I haven't. I don't have a lot of experience with it. JS. You forgot to do the star.
Yeah. We'll fix that.
Config.
Like that.
Yep. Oh, I had a space in the file set name. Sorry. Site files. Okay. Now we can actually. We can now go to file set, copy, move. This one. Refresh it before starting, because it might have changed. Okay, and destination directory is. You know that better than me.
Epi test dev dot and now Epi server sites, I think it is. What's wrong? Oh, it's lagging.
Oh, it's the remote desktop is lagging. That's not a good. Ooh, so we seem to have hit a snag. Okay, seems to be working now. And where did he go? Where did it disappear? Magic. And recreate source directory, hierarchy, clear attributes, okay. Copy. Don't fail. Override existing files. Write read-only files, okay. And see what happens. Ooh, it's actually copying, oh my god, yes. Okay, we will continue this in the next session because Svein had to go. But I will miss you badly.